Oh, except my mic. Okay, I should be audible now. Let's see if anyone's actually alive. Probably not. Aim. Oh, hi Ethan. Okay, let's see. Stream works there, stream works there, chat works there. Let me just full screen this to make sure I can chat. Ooh, that's exciting. How's your progress on it? Hey Dino, what's up? Alright, let's honestly get straight into it. I'm gonna be doing status bars today. You know, those like hunger bars, health bars, that sort of stuff. We'll see how that goes. Alright, once you understand though, it's easy. Well, yeah, Python's pretty neat. Plus, with a lot of coding languages, you just learn the sort of basic programming concepts, and that's applicable across multiple languages. What's the new badges? Whoa, the mod badge is a symbol now? A badge, not a spanner. On my screen, you still have a spanner. And I am on YouTube, so... Interesting. Here, let me... I don't think I've gotten the update yet, guys. What do you mean a badge instead of a... I still see a spanner. Please do. Oh god, I just jump scared myself with my own voice. I'm good at this game, I swear. Oh, I see. That's pretty neat, I guess. Let's status bars. Where do you guys think the best place to put the status bars would be? I'm thinking on the right here. Probably gonna make it modular, like I do with most things. If I throw a screen GUI on, call that status bars. Left, right, since most games go left or on the top. Yeah, okay. Plus, also that's where I basically have most of my space right now. Let me get myself a frame, should work. Fix the size so it uses scale instead of offset. I can type. Diva, the screens are messed up and the Explorer is... What do you mean the Explorer is split in half? Oh, that's the wrong thing. Oh, interesting. What the heck? How did it even manage that? There. I think that's better. I should have fixed it. Probably grabbed the wrong thing. Okay, this is going to be a list layout. And it's gonna have more frames inside it. These are gonna be verticals. I'm gonna make the background transparent to 0.5 so I can actually see the bars. The list layout is going to go horizontal, and it's gonna have the tiniest bit of padding, which means there, now we just have easily duplicatable bars. pretty neat. Let's also center this. So horizontal alignment is gonna be center. Yes, I could drag Explorer and stuff to another monitor, but I want you guys to see it so you guys can see. Plus, I only have 2 monitors. One of them is being used for my studio, and the other one's for my streaming stuff. I still have to cut up my screen because I have an ultra-wide monitor, and otherwise it would look a bit funky for you guys. My studio setup has properties on the left, so I have more space to change that. Fair enough. What do you mean NationCraft is down? It wasn't down earlier. There. Oh, yeah, it does seem to be down. Okay. I could stick my output on my other monitor if I don't watch YouTube at the same time. Peak multitasking. Yes, multitasking is always peak. How do I want to design these bars? Probably gonna have the frame as the container. And then I'm gonna have the canvas group be the actual bar. Size 1 0 1 0. Background transparent 0.5. And this is gonna have rounded corners, so I'm gonna do a corner UI corner in there. Let's change the scaling of that. And do we want a little text on the bottom saying what it is? So, for example, if I make this bar a little bit like that, I can put a bit of text, put a text label on the bottom saying, oh, health. Or actually, these would probably do better with a image. So I'll leave that till later. I'm gonna have a frame that's gonna be called fill. This is gonna be a, well, let's make it a gray for now. Let's make the size equivalent to 1 0 and 0. So it uses scale. Position can be 0 0 0. There. And in theory, I just rescale this and that, you know, as the filling of the bar. And so on. And I can just copy this multiple times and have multiple bars. Simple. That gives me bars. I want to animate these bars though. And I want them to be filling from the bottom, sorry. So I'm gonna move the anchor point to be in the middle, but on the bottom. So position will be 0.5 and 1. Oops, 1. There, so if I scale the height, it should, in theory, just go down without having to reposition. And then inside my UI service, I can make a bar animation. Let's use reset as a base. Start. Okay, that's gonna be there anyway. Time. Birth. How full it is, which is gonna be a number between 0 and 1. And I also want axis, which is gonna be X or Y. Goal size is nothing. If axis is X, then actually I'm gonna do an else, so it has a fallback option. We will do from student to from scale, and it's gonna be, this is on the x-axis, so this is gonna be the fullness, and this is gonna be 1, and then otherwise it's gonna be the inverse of this. 1 goes ahead of fullness. Goal size can go into over here. I don't need to edit the position. And that should, in theory, work. So if I copy a initialization script and throw it into the bar, bar itself is the field that gets edited, so parent it to that. And we're just gonna do GUI, and we're just gonna animate it for right now. Which, if I remember correctly, force place and animation. Oh, it's lowercase a, but yeah. Animate. And needs an animation name, which here is going to be bar. And then the properties is going to be nil, because I don't want to change the time. But I do want to change... Ooh, actually, let me change the time to make it 10 seconds, so it's perceivable. And then fullness can go down to 10%, so 0.1. Oops. And then let's have the axis be, let me just double check which axes I want, because I can never remember. I want the y-axis. Over here, it's Y. And then in theory, if I click play, this should slowly drain to about 10%. Alright, that works. That's neat. So that's a functional bar. I thought that was going to be harder than it was. In theory, I can just do this and make sure it works. I'm going to set this to 20%, this to 50%, and this to 80%. And running that, all the bars should go to different percentages. Somehow I got them in the right order. Alright, we have working bars. That was honestly much simpler than I expected. Now to just design this a little, I'm gonna throw on a background transparency of 1 on the actual main frame. I'm gonna throw on a aspect ratio just to keep it neat. And then I'm gonna delete all of these, so I'm working with 1 container. I'm gonna give it a UI corner just to give it a little bit more shape. I'm gonna make the bar be, you know, have a little gap on the top. Make that UI corner a tiny bit bigger. 0.50 maybe. Nope, that is way too big. I do want to have a bit of squareness to it. That works. I can definitely take that down. As in the bar itself, because I want to have a little icon on the bottom. And to match with the rest of the UI, I'm gonna grab the background color. Make it that. I'm gonna give it a UI stroke. That's the same as that. But I do want to make this transparent a little if I can. Because I don't want the bars always, you know, taking up space. And let's make this a different color. For example, a red. That is really red. Let's do a softer red, maybe. There we go. I also want to change the background color of this to be black. Not the group color. I want the background color there to be black. And I'm going to change the transparency to 0.5. Maybe 0.8 actually. There. Now we have a bar. And then I can have multiple bars really easily. Though, I do want to increase the padding. So there's actually some distance between them. There we go. Let's see, let me catch up. Got to update RTX error, PC is bugging, Mexi Devos, check media. Okay, Mexi, let me check on media. What's up? Media. Oh, wait, I'm a bit far up. And he is watching my stream on a CTR monitor? I forget the order of letters, but I think that's a CRT. Is it CTR or CRT? God dang it. I don't know why YouTube is using my other account. Well, it's buggy sometimes. Dino, CRT. Yes, CRT. Dino, are you asking me how I have achieved the bars, or are you asking about the CRT monitor? Because that is pretty neat and ludicrous. Another thing I'm going to change for this UI is I'm going to make the list layout align to the right instead of the center. And then I'm gonna move the whole thing. Actually, I might stretch it. Might make it. Come on. I don't like it. The Roblox is a bit buggy where you can't move transparent things and it's annoying. There we go. We have bars on the side. Ooh. Let me think. That only took 22 minutes to do and it works. I'm surprised. What do I do now? I thought that was gonna take way longer. I can work on the player module over here. Module script. This is gonna be the client player module. This is what's gonna handle the player, honestly speaking. Do I have a... Yes, I do have a player module. And I do have this. Did set up a tick system a while ago. So in theory, I should be able to use that by with a remote. Let me throw a remote event. This is going to be the player remote. And every time list ticks, okay. Let's get replicated storage. And then we can do player remote. Is server storage? No, this is replicated storage remote player remote. And then here we can fire player remote fire player object dot player. Is that an actual thing or? Yes, it's capital P though. Okay. And it's going to run update bars, project hunger thirst. Okay, this is gonna be you though. Update bars. I've located a village upstream from the base, drinking cocoa. No, because Dutch law. Okay. Don't know what Cocomel is. Or am I even... I need my glasses. My eyesight is dying. Hang on. Cocomel. It's chocolate milk. Okay. Jeez, that was blurry. My vision's getting worse. I need to wear my glasses more often. This. Update bars. Okay. Over here, we're gonna have a local script. This is gonna be the player handler. To be more specific, I need to go grab my basic setup. I know I'm almost 20, but that doesn't mean I'm aging. Mixie, why are you putting me on VHS? Mixie, I don't want to be on VHS. Please. That doesn't sound like a good idea, Mixie. Can't turn on Roblox RTX with NVIDIA up. Interesting. Okay. Roblox RTX? What? You can? Concerning. To be fair, I don't have a GPU that supports it. So. Okay. I was looking for you. So I can grab my layout. There it is. This will have the client player module. Which is... Actually, I do want replicated storage. Local replicated storage is game. Hello? Oh. Replicated storage, and then replicated storage modules dot client player module. I'll use the acronyms. I think it's just color correction though. That's lame. Don't worry, I don't have any spare ones anyway. Oh, any spare think 2 weeks later. Any spare VHS tapes. That's scary. Don't upload me to VHS. I don't think it can sustain all my brain capacity. However little it may be. Completely zoned out. What am I doing? Oh yeah. Local player remote is... Okay, so the remotes. Player remote. Player R on client event, connect function. And then I'll write that myself, thank you, AI. This is going to be action. So actually this will be update bars. And then this is gonna be data represented with ellipses. We need to remember to require the module, otherwise it won't work. And here I'm gonna do client player module, square brackets, action, and pass the ellipses. I should just run it. Update bars and hunger and thirst. So, oh, hang on, I need to copy in my setup. There. We will do function module update bars, and this is gonna be hunger, lowercase h because it's not an instance. Hunger is gonna be a number, and thirst is gonna be a number as well. Hunger, thirst. All right. I'm also gonna have the bar objects registered, I think. Yes. Status source frame. Let me name these properly. I'm gonna have 3 for now. I'm gonna have health, hunger, and thirst. I'm also gonna use the layout and change the settings so it uses layout order, sure. And then just to make sure I think it's the Z index that determines it. No? Interesting. Now, layout order. We're gonna be 1. We're gonna be 2. Oh, no, this is backwards. 3, 2, and 1. I also misspelled health. And here, I should be able to go into the client player module and have the... Oh, what's up, Tomcat? What's the progress? I made these bars. That's about it. I also made a bar animation. So, do I still have the base animation I put in there? Yes, I do. Basically, a bar animation, so I can change the amount of fullness, and it just works. Right now, I am setting it up so the tick, which I have a game loop tick, actually updates these for every player. Ethan, I genuinely couldn't tell you. I'm not that good with hardware components. I'm a programmer for a reason. I'm gonna remove these. Actually, no. I'm gonna keep 1. You're done with I'd say I'm done with inventory to the extent I want to be done with it for the moment. For example, if I pick up... What broke? Please tell me what broke. Something broke. Something is not happy with me. Oh, because this is broken. No, that can't be breaking. Hang on. Something's unhappy. Why is it unhappy? And I was all excited to show it off, and then show it off in a second. Let me see if I can't get that fixed just by... I typed something wrong in here. What if I just remove this from now? Why are you not happy with me? This is trying to load the player module, and for some reason this is not loading properly. But remote is... Yes, it is. Oh, it... I... Misspelling. I love misspelling things. Nope, it is still having a stroke. Why are we having a stroke? Player remote. Oh, because it's player R. Why did it say... I love when autofill messes up. Okay, here, I can show you now. I can grab things into the inventory, and then I can drag them into the hotbar, and then I can hold them. I can move them around. Yeah, and it just works. And then I can also just chuck them back into the inventory. And prices will crash into the ground when OpenAI runs out of money. Expected to be 2027. I wish it was. I wish it was sooner though. Because honestly, what benefit has AI brought so far, you know? Like, my experiences with it, other than just messing around for fun, which I guess it's enjoyable to an extent, but to spend that much money on something that either doesn't benefit us or just takes over our lives is not worth it. Where was I? Bars. I need to actually make the bars move because I'm sending the update signal, but I'm not doing anything with the update signal. So I'm gonna grab the replicated storage. Local replicated storage is game get service replicated storage. And then I'm gonna grab local where is it? UI anim service, which is just that. And then I can go local health health bar is actually how do I want to organize this? Let me think, because I can do local bars is I do want to grab players then. Local players is game get service players. And I can just go players dot local player dot player GUI dot status bars dot frame just to go down that there. And then I should be able to, I can also zoom in for you a little so it's bigger, mixing. And then I can actually get the bars while registering them. Health bar object, because I'm using OP for that with a custom object, so might as well notate that. This is gonna be GI animation service. And then that's gonna be with the register, but I hate when autofill doesn't work. Register GUI. Register GUI. And autofill is still refusing to work. So I just give it the bar, which is bars dot health dot back dot fill. And I just repeat this for thirst and hunger. Thirst. And hunger. And then I should just be able to update it here. Thirst bar object. Animate. And that's why I kept this one local script. I can copy this over. Which is the bar animation. It's gonna take, I'm gonna input nil, so it defaults, and it's going to go to the given input, and it's gonna do the same for hunger. And now, in theory, when I test, yeah, it's doing interesting things. They should animate to the appropriate one. Let me also make hunger a brown. Or like a light orange works as well. And I'm gonna make thirst a blue. Just so it has different colors so we can actually see what's up. And in theory, that's not working. Not as intended, at least. Oh, of course. I love when I look away and the AI has just decided to fill in something. Or I press tab and it's like, oh, you mean the AI, not the IntelliSense. And it's like, bro, please. Still not working, though. Am I just stupid or what's up? Maybe it's not happy with the nil. 0.1. 0.1. No? Okay. What if I print hi? Hi. Every time I call update bars. It is in fact not printing hi. Oh, I see. I'm gonna zoom a bit out then, because this is starting to hurt my eyes. Alright, we have issues. Is the handler running? Print action. No, the handler is in fact not running. Or at least there are no... Am I going crazy? Where's player module? Player module. Tick. Print. Tick. 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 Okay. Print. That. Okay. I'm working on bars. Trying to make them update, but something's wrong. Player. Okay. So this on the server goes Fire Client, which goes over here. Oh. This needs to be a script with the run context of local. That is my fault. It doesn't look different, but it is different. Because a regular local script does not run inside a handler. Inside a replicated storage, I mean. So in theory, this should give me errors. Yay. And this is services, not a module. It's my fault. Status bars is not a valid member of player GUI. The players, okay. But it is. But it is. What if I do? Wait for child status bars. Alright, well, this is just annoying. Back is a development or frame, but it's the second one, and it's like, okay. Is someone watching? Well, yeah, someone is watching my stream on a box TV. CRT. It's funny. Don't know how they managed to get that to work, but they did. Alright, I'll just task wait a second. Maybe that'll give the UI a chance to load. Nope. And this also has an issue loading. Oh, I see why. 2 seconds? Ah, this is really starting to annoy me. Wait for child. Back. I'm just gonna spam wait for childs because seems to be trying to be annoying. Okay. Now it's doing its thing. And print update. It's not printing update. Uh-oh. Update bars. You do the action, which should be update bars. Interesting. Why isn't this running? It is required. Okay, what if I do remove that, and then in the handler I do local module is that, if not the player module, then that print load. Why did it, I copied a line of text. Why did the AI change it? Please. I'm not going crazy. The AI changed the line of code I pasted. This is what I pasted. Why did it become that? How did it become that? I swear to God, someone needs to pull the plug on this thing. Why is it reloading every time? Hi, Dave. The crazy thing is, I went copy-paste, and it changed what I pasted. Why would it change what I paste? Who asked it to do that? Because it certainly was not me. Why does it keep re-requiring the script, though? The module. Is that how remotes work? Is this every time a new instance? It sets it there. Why are we... Why is it doing this? And why does it have to... I'm confused. I never had this issue before. Why is it reloading every tick cycle? It shouldn't. This should just exist once. Yeah, it's just the once. But why does it re-require every time? It should just cache a... Hmm. My brain is struggling right now. Okay. I'll do this then. Dot update bars, and then give it the info. Does that perchance change anything? No, it does not. Why are we... The thing is, they should just exist anyway, so I don't see why I need to be waiting for them. But at the same time, it just doesn't exist every time it ticks. Oh, not every time apparently. Just loads after a while. But it doesn't get to update. Should be running this. But it's not even running this. Wait, it just ran... Keh? Sorry, currently I'm losing my mind. I'm making hopefully a horror game sort of inspired by Doors, Repo, Survival, blah blah blah. These are in theory gonna be your status bars, thirst, hunger, health. Right now I have a decent inventory system set up. You know, you can equip, custom, that sort of stuff. Drag and drop. It's decent, I guess. Cool. I've also made this little cool bag. This is gonna be your representation of your inventory. It's gonna be like a bag of holding from Dungeons and Dragons if you've ever played that. That's what I have currently going. Though this UI is currently not playing nice. At all. Did they change something in how things execute? Because I've never had an issue like this with a system like this before. Okay, what if I delay here for a second? Just to make sure the player is loaded in. Nope. Okay, just let's do game get service. Players, local players. Local player, dot character added. And then just wait till that happens. Nope, that doesn't help me either. The issue is This doesn't want to load. Back is not a valid frame of frame.thirst. Frame.thirst. Oh, because I added an extra C. I added an extra C. This entire issue was because I added an extra C in back. Because I can't control my own keyboard. Watch it have another bug now. Okay, it's updating. It works. The bar slowly decreases. Alright. I am gonna increase this time to be like... To be 1 second, because the tick rate is 1 second. So... That should just properly line up. Though it's still a bit... jolty. To be fair, that's probably because of the incredibly small increments it's going down. Here. Let me for a moment just double the rates. Sorry, multiply it by 10. That should... Oh, jolty. Why is it jolty? It shouldn't be jolty. Because it uses a tween. Animate. Process that. But the bar animation works properly. I've tested it. Print time, just to double check that actually works. Yeah, it's 1 second. I feel like it is just purely because of how small the thing is. Here. If I do 0.1 a second. Yeah. It is just purely a scale thing, apparently. But the bars work. That's pretty nice, actually. Makes me happy. Let me lower this back down so you don't instantly starve and die of thirst. Thirst is gonna be half the speed of hunger. Can I change anything to make it smoother? Ah, right, easing style. I could change the easing style. Linear might work better. Now it's still jolty. I could instead have a bit of logic that makes it so it updates when either bar is a specific modulus. Can I do modulus with fractions? If player object.hunger modulus 0.1, so 10th is 0, then you run the remote. Or player.thirst. Oops. For once it has decent autofill. And then I'll up the rates just so it doesn't take ages. Should technically take 10 seconds. So it's not doing. Oops, sorry. Here, if I go into over here, I might be misunderstanding modulus. Am I? Print. I'll give me the result every second. We don't need these anymore. That was debugging. Something else. Right, it never... 8, 10. Interesting. Modulus is remainder now. So if I do 5 modulus 5, print. Yeah. I could, for the sake of numbering, since it's a percentage, I can so it's gonna be 1 is 100%. So if I multiply by 100, 100 will be 100%. Right? And if I divide that by 10, I'm also gonna do math.floor, so it is an integer. I'm also going to print this out, just to make sure the computer has an easier time doing the maths. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And then it resets to 9. Okay. No, it did skip one. Why did it skip one? Though that's not too much of an issue because it's doing what I intended it to do overall. Even if it's not fully precise. Oh, it skipped one because thirst got down to modulus 10 first. So if I remove this... 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. No? Interesting. Why does it skip one? But it skips it in a weird way. Print. Hunger. Might as well. And then just actually, let's do this. Percentage. 98, 97, 96, 95, 94, 93, 92, 90. Oh, because it has an issue with overflow. Fun. But it basically does as intended. Okay, there we go. Now we can just get rid of the prints. And I'll just have this be as is because, yeah. I also will up these back up. So, you know, you don't die. We don't need you anymore. Is it? Interesting that that doesn't print, but it runs. You don't print, but you do run. Interesting. Update bars. Yeah, just double checking. And then I am gonna throw the bars to be in the full position. Just so it doesn't look weird until it updates for the first time. And actually, I need to change this. So it's every 1% it changes. Wait. Divide something by 1, it's always gonna have a remainder of 0. Ah! Annoying. 10 and 1,000. Okay, that has the same result. So it should start dwindling. Ever so slowly. I didn't mess up. Okay, yeah. Doing its thing. Slowly depleting. And good news is it did not break the inventory. Yay. Puppy. You should make hunger and thirst deplete slower when you stay still. I'm honestly a little too lazy to do that. I can make it, however, decrease faster when you sprint. All right. Okay. Let's see. I lost my pencil. Where did my pencil go? I had a pencil so I can check off my to-do list. Okay, fine. I'll use a pen. So I made the status bar work. That's a tick. I made the hunger bar and the thirst bar work. That's 2 more ticks. The 3 things I have left are stamina. I wanted to add sprinting into the stamina. So, I want my pencil back. I'm gonna look for my pencil. Hang on. I don't like using pen. Pen feels evil. And my pencil. Okay, I'm gonna add printing coming off of stamina. Printing. We. Wait, did I ever make the inventory go away when I press? Oh, I did. Made the inventory wiggle. Ethan, they do affect them. Like, if you have, for example, a bit of lava and water that come into contact directly on the rails, it will cause the tunnel board to place itself and destroy all the glue connections. And that usually happens when it's covered in lava. So, that's fun. But if you're... You need to... I thought to place... You need... Yeah, no. If it places a block on it, I don't know why, but it just causes it to stop becoming a mechanism and it becomes a... You know, becomes placed and it's like, bro, why? Oh, and it's also fun when you set it up wrong or it runs out of bridging blocks and it just sinks into lava. I've also had that happen. That's why nowadays I just make it so it bridges with redstone blocks and then it picks it up after itself. And then it places powered rails so it goes as fast as it goes. Sorry, that's the great mod. My bridging block is the stuff it mines, so I got 4. Lucky. At least, no, not lucky. You have a brain. That's what. Also, if I remember correctly, you can... Ooh. I don't remember if you can actually just use regular rails and put a furnace minecart behind it, or you can use the furnace minecart to be the contraption itself, and then you just give it coal and it goes. I don't know, haven't played around with that. I usually just power rail it. Do I want to make sprinting right now? You just push the minecart when it slows down. That's really manual. I like to just make it, let it go automatically. So I can, you know, run around, mine extra stuff that it leaves behind, fight some mobs. It's a nice time. I don't want to do stamina and sprinting. So I could maybe try designing, or get a concept of what I want floor 1 to look like. Do you guys have any suggestions for what floor 1 should be? Box coins. You got a 2000 SU power plant but no iron farm. But no okay. No iron, okay. Sorry, that's just... No iron farm? That is one of the first things you build, Ethan. Even in vanilla. And then slime farm, and then all the other ones. Slime is important too. Office blocks? I guess we could do offices. Let me look up some office pictures. I have not been in an office in a hot second. The one we made like one, had made like one. Ethan, just make a vanilla iron farm. At least to start with, and then that'll supply you with enough to make an even more overpowered crate one. Abandoned office, you say? You say vanilla is boring, but I feel more powerful in it than I did ever with the crate mod. Like, I've progressed more in vanilla than I've ever done with the crate mod on Nationcraft. We have no idea how to single out areas of noise maps to create different biomes. You grab a noise map, and then you use the heights. So you say, oh, let's say this area is between the height of 1 and 0.9. And that's anything between the height of 1 and 0.9, that will be jungle, for example. And then you just make sure your noise map is very diffused, meaning it is over a large, you know, it has a, it's not a high, it's a low resolution one. So it covers more area. So you have bigger biomes. Or you can have a higher resolution one so it has more biomes right next to each other more occasionally. More frequently, I should say, sorry. Okay, so offices, from what I'm seeing, a key design feature is the tiled roof. Meaning it has like foam, I think foam panels. Oh my god, I don't have my move on. So the roof is made out of just a bunch of small panels with a grid between them. And then that grid is usually like a metal grid. That slightly overlaps. There. And if I just do some materials. And then it is just this repeated a bunch, basically speaking. And abandoned offices tend to have a few of these missing. So it gives this almost view. And then above this, there's a bunch of wires. Color, let's give that a darker look. And then there's usually a bunch of wires. Oop. Sometimes these hang down. It's abandoned and broken. And those run along the actual ceiling, which is usually concrete and rebar. There's also usually pipes that go through here, for example, a sprinkler system. And offices either like to have... Oh, they also have ventilation shafts that go in. Ventilation shafts. And they like these box lights. That is literally just one of these boxes turned into light. Hi, Dubkid. Dub... Led? Dubkid? I'm not sure how I pronounce your name. Maybe add a spark effect on the end of the where are we soften? Yeah, could do that. This is not the final product. This is just me thinking through what an actual office would have, just so I can, you know, give us a bit of a realistic vibe, and it doesn't look like I just threw a concrete room together with a bunch of office desks. Would be funny to make the water cooler break and have a chance to give you an electric shock. Or actually, you use it once, it gives you a cup of water, but then it leaks, and you can risk using it again, and it has a chance to shock you after that. So if you're really desperate for water, you can, but it's gonna be at the cost of some health, potentially. That could be a decent idea. Another thing I'm seeing is carpets are a choice. Like, they're either gray or they're this gray blue. Fabric. And let's do this. What's like a deep dark blue? There. Oh, there's an actual carpet. Oh, good lord, that makes it worse. Why would water be moldy from the floor? Mold doesn't just show up, and if well, then it would just be dirty. And carpet would mold if covered in water. Let me turn one of these into light. Base is gonna be the bottom. And offices tend to have these extra bright fluorescent lamps. Which tend to be a bit more on the blue white. So something more like that. However, these are old and degraded, so they are more likely to have a orange hue because they are covered in grime and dirt. This would also be reflected in the actual color to be, you know, off orange, sort of like the backrooms. Oh god, the backrooms. I'd completely forgotten that existed for a while. So we got the ceiling, that particles in air like upside down. We can probably have like dust particles. Jeez, why is there an office that just has grass as the floor? What the heck? Ooh, one thing to note from what I'm seeing is the actual grid of the... Yeah, the grid of the roof sometimes gives way. So, for example, if it's abandoned for long enough, the actual grid itself starts to bend. Oh my god, can I please... No? Okay. I'll just rotate it there then. Actual metal starts to bend. and sag, and that causes the fleas to fall. Whee! Fall and just make an absolute mess on the floor. To be fair, I should probably have more of these tiles around here because I do have a bit more broken over there. And of course, we're just imagining this does just continue over on this side, for example, like so. Actually has it go into a wall. Speaking of walls, they seem to be just concrete. Just concrete. Yeah. Like, no details. It's literally just bloody concrete. Like, material and concrete. The walls are literally just concrete. It's literally just this. That is depressing. To be fair, I don't know what I was expecting. It is an office, so. Let's see. Oh, I have an idea. Why not make some parts of the office look normal, but the further you go and the more abandoned, destroyed. I could probably do something like that. I'm right now just spitballing general design. I was AFK, what happened and what's the game about? Well, what happened is I'm trying to come up with a rough outline and design for what I want the first level to look like. The game itself is gonna be a dungeon crawler, so you go into floors and you go through it, you have to survive the floor. You have to manage your hunger, your thirst, your health, your stamina, that sort of stuff. And the goal is you go in, you collect, you collect items, and using those items, you can extract, and if you manage to survive and extract, you can sell those items to a shop. You can buy, like, MREs, so support you on your further expeditions, and that sort of stuff. I'm also hoping to like all these basics, but with health, I guess, but it's more like repo where you have to sell stuff and get upgrades, but sort of like doors where you have to go through floors and survive monsters. I don't know, it's a mix. Also, Vulcan, we've been through the great meme reset. Why are you still in 2025? Come on, man. Basically, it's inspired by that horror dungeon crawler genre, survival dungeon crawler genre, but I'm adding my own twist by making it with health and thirst. The great meme reset didn't even happen. It didn't happen because people refused to support it. Personally, I'm enforcing it. If I get any brain rot memes on my Discord, you will be getting a 4-hour timeout at the least. Thank you. I bit my tongue. It hurts. Make levels based off of seeds. Well, so it does not get repetitive. Well, it's gonna be randomly generated every time anyway. And I'm not sure how it's gonna generate yet, because I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't gotten to the algorithm yet, Vulcan. Like, I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna do it yet, because it is microphone? Okay, my mic died for a second. I haven't gotten that far in development where it already generates rooms. Like, currently I am just barely designing what I want the first one to look like. My OS, as in like operating system, it's Windows 11 specifically. It works well enough. What's your opinion on Pressure? Pressure is a cool as heck game. Like, I've spent way too many hours on it, to be fair, but yeah, it's a cool game. You know what I'm not excited for? I'm probably gonna have to use Blender to make office meshes, which I don't like Blender. Blender is evil. Seriously, man? Oh, I can't even load. Okay. I just killed my chat. Oopsie. Give me a second. No, Mixie. This is a solo project, like I said. If I have to use Blender, I have to do it myself. Otherwise, I'm never gonna learn, you know? Why does my tween say that to cast to the... What? Why are your tween speaking to you? Why is it speaking to you? Why are you making it output? What? Oh, unable. Okay. I thought you were speaking French. Unable to cast a dictionary. Basically, with tween, it has a dictionary that is... I go here. This here is a dictionary. The goal is the dictionary. You probably have something named wrong. Or you're not passing it a table. You just suck at making models? That's something to practice, I guess. Wait, maths come. Oh my god, I took my glasses off. That's why I can't read. Holy maths comes to clutch again. What do you mean I can easily partition 2D space into different areas? What do you... I don't know, question mark? Maths? Brain? Oh, I did goal instead of floating point bar dot position is goal 2. I fixed it. Okay. At least I got that sorted. Sorry, my brain is short-circuiting right now. I spent about 4 hours before this stream working on a Minecraft piston door. Because apparently that's my new addiction currently. Oh, when I see something funny, I didn't anchor anything, so the office has collapsed. I need to anchor. What I could do is... What do you mean realistic office? What, offices just collapse like that IRL every 2 seconds? That what you mean, realistic office? Ethan already answered that double. Or dub. Ked led there. Ethan answered it. Basically it turns angles into radians. Which, yeah, and you do need it for rotation C-frame. Yes, I made a part float up and down in a loop. That's nice. That's neat. That's very neat. That brings me back. That's probably one of my first coding projects I did for Nuclear Simulator, which never released because the owner of it decided to dip. But there were like floating little parts you could pick up. I didn't ask for do I need it for rotationings. What does math do? I need it. Math do I need it for English? My brain is not Englishing. Help. Punctuation, please. What does math do? I need it for rotation C-frame. Oh. It converts. It basically turns a degree into a radian, which actual rotations with rotation matrices, which is what you're doing with C-frame rotation, it uses radians instead of angles. You just basically do math.rad and then put in the angle you want, for example, 90, and then that gives it back in a radian. It took me so long to figure out math.rad for my house rotation. Why are you rotating a house? My mother is chewing out my sister right now. Okay, please avoid sharing personal information about your living conditions, but okay. Ethan, did you DM me? Yes, you did DM me. What did... Oh, you did make a rotatey part. Sorry, a floaty part. That's cool. That is neat. Alright, what was I doing? Oh, the inventory is... I meant yelling, and it's not bad. Either way. Foxcoins, brain. I need a brain. I do need a brain, because my brain is not working right now. Let me see. I could make UI for this in the bottom left, bottom right. And I'm gonna make it myself. Just because I want to make it myself. Here, how does my OBS still work for this? Where are you? There it is. There. No? Oh, there. Alright, this is Figma. This is a visual art program. I'm gonna make myself a health icon. I'm probably gonna use a heart instead of a cross because heart works better. Boop. Boop. Oops. This needs to be on grid. There, looks a little funky right now, but I'm gonna fix that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shove that over by 1 then. And then we'll pull that out. There, heart. And then I can just fill this with, and let's make it white. That works. There, just to keep it square. I'm also gonna quickly just grab a frame. There. And throw it in the frame. Just to have a reusable size. And I can make the background invisible. Actually, let's not make it invisible yet. I'm just gonna make that slightly visible. Well, that is a lot of code. The main issue is that it's not formatted. That was hard to read. What would thirst look like? Because health can be a heart. What is thirst? Icon. Oh, literally just water. Just a water drop. I'm stupid. Wait, how would I format it? Well, you could join my Discord in the description, go into general and use the Discord formatting tools for it. So people don't model GUIs in Roblox Studio. Yeah, I'm not in Roblox Studio right now. And you do need to model quite a bit of it in Roblox Studio for proper functionality. Well, then I can't rate your code, man, because it is unreadable like that. Water droplet. I think that's a decent enough shape for it. Though, like, I will rotate this, so... There. There you go, water droplet. And then I can probably do a hunger. What would hunger look like in an easy to recognize shape? fried chicken. So that would be something like a bone. Going into a circle. There, I can adjust this to make it better, but let me go with a fill. Oops, I did not mean to move that whole thing. And this needs to be closer together, like so. Right, that's that. And then this goes like that. And then this goes... Right, I have one. That's not meant to be like that. Oh, like this. Then... I think something like that should work. Yeah, I think that's the best I'm gonna be able to do. Ooh, I do wanna move that down like that. I think that should work. Though, considering the other ones have a bit more voxels, I'm gonna give the heart a few more. There, make it a bit more curvy. This still reminds me of doors. Reminds you of doors. Yeah, it might. Honestly, I haven't looked at doors in a second. And just make that a bit bigger to be more on par with the others. And then I should be able to just grab all the frames, make the frame transparency fully transparent, make this completely white, and then I can export these. I'm actually gonna upscale these. Desktop heart. This is gonna be export upscale. This is gonna be exported as droplet. And this is gonna be exported as make sure to upscale. Fried chicken. Though it doesn't look like that, but it'll work. Alright. Then I should be able to come to Roblox, go into the built bits of UI, and throw in a image label. Size of 1010, just to have it set up. I'm also gonna add an aspect ratio constraint to keep it square. Make it smaller, line it up with that, maybe a bit bigger. There we go. And then I'll upload the image, which is going to be desktop. This one is the droplet. Background transparency of 1. Maybe the tiniest bit smaller. And then I can throw that into hunger and just change the image. Make this the weird chicken. Where's the weird chicken? There it is. And then the same with health. There, now we have logos for each. In theory, I should be able to just add a color over this image color. Yeah. I can just match the colors. No, not background color. I want the image color changed. And actually, I'm gonna make them just a little darker than the bars so they stand out. Oh, I'm changing the wrong color. Where's the... Oh, come on. Image color. There it is. I'm blind. There we go. Let me see. The code only happened... Oh god, there's been a lot of chatting. My code is working-ish. How come my local script doesn't detect the mouse entering? Good question. Are you listening to the right event? With click detector. Ooh, I think the click detector takes priority. I'm not sure though. I haven't really messed around with it too much. The code only happens when you let go of the input. Can you help me with that? I don't know what word bomb is. What do you mean? Look, well, this fried chicken. Tell me the reason. By the way, the thing is, I don't really see your code, and I don't want to read it out of the stream chat where it's completely unformatted. So I can't really help, man. Here, I'm gonna check something real quick. So for some reason my local scripts don't run at all. Where do you have your local scripts, Ethan? If they are in actual GUI, like they're under starter GUI, they should run. If it's in replicated storage, you need it to be a script, and then you need to change the run context to client. That's just a quirk with replicated storage. And local scripts don't really run in workspace either, unless you do the same trick with the script and then make it a client context. I'll be right back. I'm going to get myself a drink. You need to you change the run context and properties. Like if you look at my thing, for example, if I have here replicated storage, I put a script in and I go to properties, run context, and I changed it to client instead of putting in a local script because that doesn't run, but the context one runs. All right, I'll be right back. Yeah, I know that is a property. Alright, I am back. Oh, you meant that as a question? Please, if you mean something as a question, either put a question mark at the end or phrase it like a question. Because if you say that's a property question mark, then that's clearly a question. Or if you do, is that a property, then that's a question by phrasing and it doesn't need a question mark. But please, otherwise I genuinely can't tell if you're making a statement or asking a question. Oh, hi Sol, what's up? I made bars. Oh, the bars are sliding off my screen. They're escaping. I need to move the frame up a little. Background transparency 0.5. There. Also, fun thing, which I'm really happy about, is that I can just copy the bars and it just automatically aligns it. I love UI list layouts. They're super useful. Like for example, I can just go to the hotbar, which also uses a UI list layout, and just make slot 8. And just change the text. There you go, now we have slot 8. Other than the bars being nice and functional, you missed me sort of spitballing designs and ideas for the first level. We're gonna be going with like abandoned office and something like this. Not exactly this, but you know, just to have the ceiling be those tiles with the tile lights, concrete walls, bluish gray carpet. I may have just inhaled some liquid when going down into my lungs instead of my stomach. Ah. I'm dying. Fox coins. Lots and lots of fox coins. Hmm. I don't know what to work on next. Where's my to-do list? I lost my to-do list. There it is. Ooh, I started designing it, but I'm not that's not gonna be the final design. I'm gonna make iterations on that. Stamina bar, I guess. Though too lazy to make that, so you know what? I'll make a stamina bar. I am also going to change the order. So it's hunger and then thirst. 3, hang on, 3, 1, and this is 2, there. And then hunger 0, this is gonna be stamina, which is gonna end up being the color of white. That's a bit too violent of a color. Let's make it like a slightly gray. There. And that should go onto this as the image color as well. Just a bit darker. And I might make this a little smaller so it's less intrusive. There. And I do need to increase the padding. Yeah, the padding. No, that's aspect ratio. Where is my padding? There it is. 0.4. Space them out a little. And then I'm gonna come here. Duplicate that. Change the background to be slightly visible. Delete this. And then I'm gonna make a lightning bolt. Oops. Something like that. This is gonna be white, and the weight is gonna be like 5. Let's not go crazy, maybe like 3 instead. Alright. That's about the center. Also about the center. There. And I should be able to... And I want the ends to be sharp. This works though. Alright, background to 0. And then export this as bolt. And then we go back to Roblox. And we update the bar to be a bolt. Bolt.png. There we go. Great. There you go. Now we have stamina, hunger, health, HP. Though, I'm gonna mess around with the colors a bit more. Because instead, I think it is better if these are brighter than the bars. And I do mean same brightness, but less saturated, so they stand out a bit more. Ew, this one's a bit tricky because it's already slightly made darker. There. But these... Oh, it's already fully desaturated, so I just have to make it lighter, I guess. There we go. That looks a bit better, I think. Neat little bars. And hunger and thirst, of course, go down as the game runs. Wait, is hunger going down? Hunger goes down faster than thirst. I'm... Here, let me flip them around visually then. Thirst is going to become number 3, and hunger is going to be number 2. Really? Are you... Are you messing with me? Am I going crazy? 3, 2, 1. And hunger is 2 and stamina is 0. Okay. There we go. Now, I haven't pirated a program before because I'm no hacker or pirate. I just code. I make games instead. Alright. Those parts makes me happy. This feels like a lot of stats to manage on the side. It is a lot of stats. Though a lot of them you don't really have to manage, because stamina you just sprint until you can't sprint anymore and then recharges. Health and hunger, you just eat something occasionally. Health, if you get damage, you can use a bandage. Not that hard, it's a basic survival game. Just wait till I add like a sanity meter or something. Just to be extra annoying. So we'll see how the game bounces, because I'm still not sure how exactly the gameplay is gonna work. I just have basic systems like the bar system, a game tick system, you know, data transfer. Don't have saving yet. I'm gonna import one of my old services for that, but I'm lazy right now. I'm mostly procrastinating on the construction bit. And I'm also really not excited to get started on the random generation, because that can be painful. Right, these have collisions. Interesting. This one doesn't, though. The fox coin has collisions. Nothing else does. Fun. Sorry, I'm just messing around with collisions right now. Alright, see you, Dub. Where was it? Oh, come on. I don't know what else I need to think of, because this is a bit plain as is. Maybe because I don't have the whole roof in with my head. I'm gonna just do that. What forbidden number? Wait, how many subscribers am I at? Should I be worried? YouTube. Let's see. Your channel. Oh, I'm at 68 subs. Oh, someone did something. Didn't show, I don't think. Did it show? I missed it. Oh, no, someone gave me 25 bucks. Hell yeah. I need to make those last longer because that is annoying. Come on. I need to bring up stream elements so I can actually see exactly what they said. Because you can add a little text. Probably someone. 25 buck tip. Thank you so much, man. Especially after the 40 the other stream. What are you making? I am working, well, on the horror game still that I was up till now. We have the inventory system, works pretty well. We have bars showing stats, and I was throwing together somewhat of a design of what I might do for the first level. It's going to be an office. This is just repeated for right now because I'm lazy. I am probably going to have to do something with the walls. Probably have like a lower layer and then an upper layer. Just to make it less monotonous. But yeah, that's basically it. Oh my god, I missed it again. Another 25, very spooky. AJ. Mr. Probably Someone, man. Okay. Thank you. I'm definitely gonna have enough for that box now. I gotta wait for PayPal to process it though. Yeah. What do you think so far about the game? You got any ideas for it? Especially for the office layer, because I'm running on fumes for it, creativity-wise. Gotta do something about the light as well, because this is nowhere near good enough. Oh, I know. I forgot to turn shadows on. No wonder it was looking funky. There, now it should look a bit better. I also got kill lighting. Where is it? There it is. Lighting style, realistic. Oh, that looks immediately better, actually. Outdoor ambient would be completely dark. 0, 0, 0. You know, made dark. Something like so. I mean, that is very office lighting, but it's too close and doesn't have light with a messed up positioning. I mean, that is very much very office lighting, but it's too close and doesn't have a light with a messed up. What? Oh! Yeah. I know they were too close. That's just because it duplicated a bunch. They're gonna be probably spread out. And this is just an example, so I'm not really messing it. And you're right, I do need one light that just is off by one block, just to be annoying. Also, ceiling panels that are incorrectly aligned would be good for a falling apart hallway. That's sort of the idea, is you have some parts that have, you know, fallen. You have the metal hold up thingies that are slowly peeling away because of age. You have wires hanging down. Though I did just copy paste this, so it's not that good. You have wires hanging down. You might have a broken, shattered light on the floor. Yeah. Also by misaligned, do you mean just like sort of messed up and placed wrong? So for example, something like that. That actually doesn't look bad either. Gotta keep this in mind. They're not just fully fallen off. Another thing I was thinking of is maybe having a couple that are like sort of hanging almost, but that doesn't make any sense. Because this would just fall, you know? Like, there's nothing actually securing it other than just it being placed on top of the grid. And I am missing an entire grid section over here. That's why it looks a little funky. Angled with... What do you mean angled with the support? Oh, you mean like the support is peeling off? Like, for example, here. And it's, you know, going with it. Rather than fully falling off. Something like so. Of course, this isn't fully supported. You'd probably have another one that's like barely holding it on here. Yeah, probably something like that. But that's just the roof. I mostly need stuff with the walls. Here, let me just throw a couple lights around so I can actually see. That is crazy work. Oh, good lord, now I'm glowing. Why am I glowing? Here, let me turn these down a little. Brightness to 0.9. Could work better. Give it a second to load. There we go, that's better. I'm no longer glowing. I also don't have shadows. Where did my shadows go? Shadows. Shadows? Global shadows are enabled. I'm pretty sure mine have just... Oh, because graphics quality is automatic, of course. There we go. That is more ideal. Oh god, and the multiple shadows. Someone on the wall should look like someone punched their hand through the wall. Okay, that wouldn't happen in this case because these are concrete walls. In this type of office, that wouldn't happen. You wouldn't punch a... Just show some rebar. Fair enough. In that case, it would be more like concrete crumbling due to age. So that would be more so represented with a, well, like you said, what the flip? Here. With, yeah, like you said, basically a hole. I'm just gonna do something rough like this. Buddy. There, and then you would have the rebar, which is the metal rods going through there. I just need to change the material from concrete to corroded metal, for example. And then you'd have a couple layers of repeating rebar, because that is reinforced fully. Then you'd have it cross-hatched and slightly indented, for example, because yeah, they're laid against each other, not through. And they're tight together at the joints. Now, I'm not sure if it would be worth alternating like this. No, that looks weird. Rebar. Wait, you're playing Minecraft? What are you playing on Minecraft? I need to know. Might want to join. Grr. Server. The server was down a minute ago. Did you get that up then? Fair enough. What looks good? So the rebar in the wall that I just threw together. Though, to be completely honest with you, this would... I have it a quick reset. Oh, I see. This would look better if I actually made the thing orange. There. That looks more like rebar rather than some weird rusted metal. I don't know. I don't want to add windows, even though it is technically offices, because I don't want players to have a sense of an outside. I also don't know what a office window would look like, but I might make a really rare window that's like just looking out into the void or something. And if you approach it, it turns out it's an anomaly and it's a monster that tries to attack you. The deadly window. Severance type of... Yeah, severance type office. With no windows, because it is underground. Ooh, one thing I do want is... You know how they have the little separators that are like panels in a grid? And they just put it up and then make cubicles out of them. You know, something like so. And then, you know, separated to office spaces, and then you'd have a desk on each side. This is an abandoned office. There should be randomly scattered papers and miscellaneous office supply and furniture. Yeah, there will be. We could also probably have some of these divider things like fallen over. Since, you know, they're old. Well, yeah, dividers, and then you would have desks with the chairs. I'm gonna move this because that looks a bit weird. Be clipping through there. I'm also gonna make this one fall over. Actually, I'm gonna make this one look like it's been like shoved. It's gonna be like against the wall. There. Office divider things. And of course you would have the random things. Let me look at my pictures of offices. Ooh, another thing they have, some have, because it's carpets, is some of them have like little chair mats. Like plastic, transparent chair mats that you would put an office chair on so you can slide around and it doesn't get stuck in the carpet. Also, I love the shadows coming from all the hangy bits. I find it pretty neat. There will be water coolers as well. Those will be a game mechanic that we talked about. They can grab a drink from them for a thirst bar. Wonder what else could we do? Honestly, I'm not sure. I know there's the clipping, it's annoying me as well, but this is just a test design run. Just spitballing ideas. What might work and what might not. Oink. Another one of these on there. Maybe not that far into the wall. There, that does take up some of the space and adds a bit more look to it. Fun, it's a built-in thing. It's always nice when you find out it's a built-in thing after making your own solution. Like, come on, why didn't I know that earlier? Abandoned office. Images. Oh, okay. Well, good thing you realized early then. There's also definitely a idea of doing glass offices. With, of course, the glass probably having been broken. But yeah, like glass fronted offices and then having like a big meeting table thing. Like this does give that vibe of an abandoned office, no? Just like roughly speaking, this gives the impression of abandoned office, I'm hoping. Just throw a wall there. Make it feel a tiny bit more complete than it is. There. I think something like this as a reference picture would be suitable for the future for me. Look at. Anyways, I think I'm gonna be ending the stream early because I have stepmother's made dinner and I'm hungry. So I'm gonna go get off and eat. As always, I'm probably gonna be in a voice call on my Discord. And I do want to thank you guys for watching. Discord link is in the description, by the way, if you guys wanted to join. Make sure to like the stream so it reaches more people. Throw a subscribe so you're notified when I stream again. When you get better at Blender, you could make the holes with rebar less. Yeah, they will be less blocky. This is genuinely just an example. Like, everything here is just quickly thrown together so I get a visual example of what I do want to have in the office. You know, so I don't forget and I can spitball ideas of, oh, okay, this looks decent enough. You know, this is a look I want to go for. Anyways, that's it for today. I'm heading off. I'm gonna have dinner. And, what day is it? Thursday. See you guys back on Sunday. Sorry for the slightly shorter stream, but have a good one. I have contributed much. Yes, you have, Hex. Like, with the tip and also with ideas. The ideas were very nice. Thank you. Alright. I'm ending the stream. Where's my end button? I can't find my end. Help! I can't end the stream. I'm stuck here forever. Oh, there it is. Goodbye.